What's up, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? It is 7 o'clock Eastern over here. I don't know about y'all. You're
We are
mute, I
watching.
think. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it is 7 o'clock on the East Coast, where it is now the new sunset time. So it's not getting the sunset. The sun is not setting until 7, which is pretty, pretty nice, especially when it's a nice day like today.
Yes, it was beautiful. Like I was like, I want to take this coat off so bad, but I didn't want to get sick. You know how that weather change be?
Yes, it'll be tricking you for real, for real.
It
Waking up with a
does.
cough, like where does this come from? It was just nice yesterday.
Right. I think one of my kids had got that little sneezing going on from the weather change. So over the weekend, and I'm like, here we go
But I know you
again.
gonna take care of them. You be having them herbs and them jars and whatnot. I know you gonna take care of them. I got good faith in you.
Yeah, I be trying. I got this new thing with the honey. You gotta get this. I think it's Manuka honey,
Is it?
and it's
Oh,
like,
honey, like $50 a bottle. No, I'm just kidding.
girl, that
Don't
bottle is expensive.
don't get some vanilla, okay? I'm like these prices, Lord. Oh my goodness.
Girl,
So it's Manuka honey, and is it you just take it by itself?
yeah, you could just take like a tablespoon every day. You don't need nothing, or you could just put it in your tea, and it's very medicinal. So it kind of
Mhm.
like prevents and heals you fast. So my son he was sick maybe just a day. So.
Where do you get it from? Is it just in the regular grocery store or
Well, I get mine on Amazon, so I'll
okay?
definitely send that link. Yep.
Okay.
Well, if you guys are just tuning in, welcome. This is Lady Diane Precious. We are starting something new. So we will be going live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So thanks for being here. But tonight we're gonna talk about Drea Michelle. If you don't know who she is, she's just a regular chick. Let me stop. She cool. So she is a I first seen her off of Love and Hip Hop. I don't know about you. Not Love and Hip Hop,
Yeah, I
sorry.
would say a
Basketball
reality
Wives.
TV. Basketball
Yeah,
Wives, yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Basketball
she's like a
Wives.
reality TV star, I would say. Like back in
Yeah.
the day when reality TV wasn't as scripted as it is today, I would say.
Yes.
When it
Like, I
was
don't know how
just
many of you
all right, they might argue a little bit, somebody might throw a drink, but they really argue. They're not like fighting each other and beating each other up to their heads bleed and stuff like that. So I think she's like from the old school reality TV.
well, shoot, when she was on, wasn't what's her name? I can't even think of her name. The Spanish one, Evelyn. When Evelyn was
Mhm.
throwing bottles over people's heads, she was on one of them seasons, I
Oh,
think.
you know what? Yeah, maybe they were actually the originators of that. Yeah, you're right.
Probably
You're right. You're right.
something like that.
You're
But
right.
yeah, so she was a reality star. She wasn't never married to a basketball player. She was just with one.
Hmm.
I don't know how she got on the show. But anyway, she became famous off of that, and she's been on Instagram doing her own business. She created like a swimsuit clothing line, doing
Hmm.
collabs like that to keep her reputation up. So it's been working so far. But yeah, so she is dating a what is it, basketball player, and he's super young. So that's what we're talking about today. Even though
Hmm.
we're talking about a celebrity, we're just trying to talk about cougar life. Is that okay? Is age nothing but a number type of thing? Let's talk about that.
It ain't
So
nothing but a number. It ain't nothing but a number. All right, this is gonna be that type of show. We just this girl talk. We just gonna be, girl
right.
talk. I
So
think
wait, wait,
people
wait.
see
You
us on
think I'm pretty
platforms.
Ricky?
Yeah, you be knowing. You be knowing.
Yo, everybody normally goes to that Aaliyah and R. Kelly, but what about Pretty Ricky? Like,
I get back to Pretty Ricky. Pretty
right.
Ricky. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good show because I think that that dynamic. I think there's a lot of opinions about it.
Yeah.
From older woman to a younger man. So I think it'll definitely be a good conversation.
But the cool thing is we don't know each other's opinion about it. So we're gonna get into all of that today.
Okay.
I don't even know
Okay.
what you think. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into that today.
We'll get into it.
But before we get started, let me just play a funny intro clip that I made up today.
Michelle is pregnant by this young man. He is 22 years old and she is 39. But you know what? I see why. She seen this video and she instantly said, Zaddy, join Lady Di and Precious tonight on YouTube talking about this. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
I just had to. I was just going through his page and I'm like, yeah, this is probably what she was thinking about.
Seriously.
Hey. Hey, so let's get into it. So let's start with so before we get started, I wanted to bring up basically, so he's dating Drea Michelle right now, and she is 30, 39, 40 years old. But before that, he was dating a girl named Brea Hicks, and she became famous after dating Christian Combs, which is Sean Combs' son, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever. She was dating his son. Yeah. And she's 22 right now. Well, she's 25. I think she was 22 at the time. So
Okay.
this was about close to his age. She still was older. Was still a little older.
But still close.
Yeah, appropriate, right?
Yeah, it was appropriate.
They had an exclusive relationship. I think they dated maybe a year or so. So it was very exclusive. And he got her when she, was real young. She was really nothing at the time, but now it's like, so it's kind of like, what do you think about that? He was dating her and now he went straight up to someone way older than him.
Well, I mean, when you put this picture up, I kind of thought that was Drea for a hot second. Because she, she just has like her hue and the hair, like she just has her physique, I would say. So as far as the levels of him being with her as opposed to Drea Michelle, I don't know. See, he's a basketball player. So he runs in different circles. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a good chance he would run into a Drea Michelle, especially because she probably keeps herself in those type of environments.
True.
You know what I mean? So I don't know where he met her at, because you said he met her after she was with P. Diddy's son or before she was with P. Diddy's son?
It was before, because like when I go on there, they have like a fan page of someone who made their Instagram, and she looks like he met her in high school.
Okay.
So I thought it was he dated her after, but according to the pictures, I don't think so. Not how she was looking. She was very slim, like she was barely wearing makeup. She wasn't done up like this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why they didn't work out.
Yeah. So this is just wanted to share. This her Instagram. This is what she posts. So this is who he was with.
IG modeling it up out here. She's a very pretty woman.
Right.
And she's still, in her prime. You said she's 25 now. So.
Okay. Now this is Drea Michelle's Instagram.
Looks similar to old girls.
Yeah. It's like I'm looking at the same person.
They do look the same. But I mean, that's also probably a stream of revenue for them too. I think Drea, wasn't she a Fashion Nova model for a long time? She probably still is one.
She still is, yeah.
So that's what they do. They get paid to take them pictures, to go live every now and again for 5 to 10 minutes. They'll get a certain amount of money if they have a certain amount of viewers and things like that. So all of these reality TV stars or Instagram, all their Instagrams are gonna look, pretty much the same. You're gonna see the bathing suit shot, you're gonna see the beach, you're gonna see, the fake looking off
like this, right?
Yeah, you're gonna see all of that on their pages.
Yeah. So we understand he got the same taste because
Yeah, he didn't veer off. He definitely didn't veer off from what he likes.
Right. So this is Drea Michelle. She's pregnant. I wouldn't even know she was pregnant right here, but this was just her showing herself off.
She was pregnant in this picture. In this picture.
Yeah. So older, wiser, and hotter than ever. And then let's see. So she's gonna show. Yep, there it is. Your stomach.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we're getting vibes like they are very similar looking and pretty much the same thing they're doing, like you said on the Instagram. So he didn't really change his taste much. It's just that she's just older. So
right. And for him to be the age that he is, of course he's gonna like the Instagram model physique or whatever you want to call it. That's how they're getting their money. But I'm pretty sure in person, I'm not saying that they're too far off from who they are on Instagram, but in person, you don't necessarily know how they are. So they could be two different personalities or whatever. But as far as what he's attracted to, he definitely stayed close to the grain with that one.
And that's probably why he decided to even be with her, is because she looks no different than the other women that he will be, intrigued by.
Now, I wonder because, Drea, it seems as though she does this for a living. And when I say does this for a living, meaning she will get with me. I think her second child was with an NFL player. Her first child, I'm not quite sure who she had that child with, but her second child, I think, was by an NFL player. Yeah. So I think that, she made a post on National Women's Day, and she said that, her purpose is motherhood, right? And I believe that for any woman, their purpose should be motherhood if that's what they truly desire, because God has given them that ability to bring forth life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way that she's doing it is, all right, let me go to the person who can provide as well. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, because you do want to have a provider, but how long is she staying with said provider? Like, you know what I mean? We'll get into that, but it's like,
and that's the thing. Like, she was married before, so I wasn't expecting her to do that.
Who was she married to? I didn't know she was married
to the NFL player, or they just was engaged that whole time.
Yeah, I don't know if she ever got married. I don't know. I could be wrong though. I didn't know if she was married or not.
Let's listen. People be in these long ass engagements. I thought she was married to this dude.
I don't know. Yeah. I know she had her first child when she was about 17, I think. And then she had her second child because her first child was what, 22, the same age as what's his name? I can't even think of his name.
Yes, Jalen Green.
Jalen. Right? And then her youngest after that, I think, is 5 or 8. So I'm sorry, 11. So even they have a huge gap in between their ages. And so now she's about to have a newborn who's about 6 or 7 years, who's going to be 6 or 7 years younger than her youngest. So I think she is strategically planning them out at a certain time. So she, this bag don't last me this this decade, and this bag gonna last me this decade. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, so she was actually just with this guy for a long time. Remember him? I had to show you my phone. Remember them?
That guy? Oh yeah, go back. Yeah, I do remember him. And so is that who she had her? That's who she had her second baby with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wow, yeah, because it's back in the day. It's been so long, but I thought she was married to that man. But whatever, married or not, she ain't with him.
No, so she's on. She's on to the next.
Yeah, there's a trend. She remind me of some of his Future's baby mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But I want to know what Jalen is thinking.
He's not thinking.
Yeah, because I don't think that he's spoken on this at all since it's been in social media.
It's very new. So he probably has like his managers like trying to see how the media is gonna react to it. Yeah, and kind of like go with that. I think it's probably too early to say something, to be honest. Gotta let everybody, spit it all out, all the heavy top hitter shows, spit it out, and then maybe talk. But honestly, it's really, really nothing at the moment because they have a baby. So it's kind of like regardless, this baby is coming. So he probably won't. I don't think he will say anything, to be honest. He probably just baby be born and he may say welcome son, or is she having a son or something, right?
She's having a girl. She having a girl.
Having a girl. So welcome my, my queen. You know how I go, my princess, one of those things. So yes. Hey, what's up? What's up? Thanks for being here. Eugene, how are you? Snuggles. The truth as I know it. Okay, I like that. Highlighting ratchet mothers is part of the foundation and fuels the geneocracy. Family building warriors mock and rebuke these women with fire.
He was on my show on Monday night, and I really liked his input and his perspective when he came on. So you're definitely welcome back at any time. Yeah,
I gotta watch the replay. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, he was on there for just a short amount of time, but it was definitely impactful.
Okay, what's up, Travel One? Blaze, what's up? Peace and abundance, Lady Di Precious Mods in the chat. Hope all is well, stopping through. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. The brother wasn't thinking, unfortunately. What's up, Derek? How are you? So yeah. So let's get into it.
Thinking with the little head, not the big head. Okay.
He was just like, she hot. That was it.
For real. Oh my God, it's Drea. Oh my God. Like, I think it was that type of energy. Woo.
She is keeping up herself. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not.
She is. Yeah, she's always been a very fit.
Yes.
She presents as feminine. I'm not, I don't know if the housewives presented that well for her, but she has that physique that a basketball player would want.
Yeah. So he just fell into it. So we're just gonna talk about a few topics before we get into that main one. So let's get into it.
Pregnant after 5 miscarriages and having this miracle.
Did you see this? Because this was crazy. So let me read it first. It says, woman left with a $20,000 hospital bill after her husband refused to acknowledge her on insurance after she didn't name their son a junior. So he was mad because she, you know how you pick names, and if the other party doesn't agree, you got to still got to come with a mutual agreement.
Right.
So they never came up with one. So she didn't want the first son to be a junior, which that's normally how it works. It will be the first born son, but she wasn't having it and he wasn't either. So supposedly, he didn't pay for the hospital bill. So let's hear this crazy story.
Okay.
Being pregnant after 5 miscarriages and having this miracle baby, and then walking out of the hospital with a $20,000 bill because my husband at the time refused to acknowledge me on his insurance. So those were, just the consistent.
You said refuse to acknowledge you on the insurance. Explain that to me. What are you talking about?
So for punishment of not naming his son a junior, he refused to confirm me during discharge as his wife on his insurance.
Does that mean she was never on there? It's not about, he must have called the people right then and there. They ask you for damn near your life when you walk into a hospital. You could be bleeding out the side of your head, and they be like, insurance, ID, and everything else, please. So,
yeah, it's weird because, like, when I deal with my insurance, to stop immediately, like, I don't want this person on it immediately. I don't think it works that fast. It would take probably a day to process. Like maybe the next they'll cover her for that day, but the next day she could be off.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he already had it planned because she already said she didn't want the baby to be named Junior anyway. That's not something that was just discussed at birth, So
Okay.
it's kind of like people are saying that she's lying. So
Now she's from Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I know that she's always talked negatively about her husband, like he was like this horrible man. And I guess this adds to those stories that she tell about him.
yeah.
But there's definitely more to the story. But my thing is with her, because I've seen, her on that show. It just seems as though she married the wrong person, because he made it clear very early that he married the wrong person, and he didn't have any issues with showing that towards her. And so I think she tells these stories as if she's a victim, but at the end of the day, I think she knew that he just wasn't the right person for her. So, $20K hospital bill, but I don't know. He probably didn't even want the child. If you don't want him to be named after you, that means you ain't even want the child. Like, come on, let's be real.
No, she didn't want the baby to be named after him.
Well, then she didn't want him. You know what I mean? She didn't want him, because at the end of the day, it's like that's his child, unless that wasn't his child. What?
Yeah,
was it his child? Did they have did they get a DNA test? No, that's the question.
No, you know how that goes. No. But and that's because it's like, to me, I don't think there are women who like that junior thing, but there's some women who don't like it. So it's kind of like, what do you do if you're with someone and they want this and you want that? What do? You just say, "Nah, I ain't doing it," and that's a son. That's his son. Meaning, it's a boy. You would give first preference to me. That's how that should go.
She's being difficult. I think she's being difficult. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't oppose to something, but you do have to come to a common ground. But why would you rob him of that? That's his son. That's his. I mean, it's your son too, but y'all all gonna have the same last name. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, she's starting that mommy son like Sunday real early. Like,
yeah,
it's just like, I could see a man not really being too cool with that. You know what I mean? Especially because she said they had as many, they lost the baby as many times as they did. So while that was hurtful and traumatizing for her, I'm sure it was hurtful and traumatizing for him too. So I don't know. She probably was a problem. She was the problem.
Definitely. Like, if I told James, like, yeah, our first son now, he can't be named after you,
he would look at you like, huh?
Like, we would be arguing, and then I'm like, nah, I'm the one that signed the paperwork. Because most moms sign that shit, right? We sign it. Nah, I'm signing it. Like, you got no control.
It's rude and disrespectful to me. I mean, it's like you acting like you had this child by yourself. So I don't know.
But people make up stories just to sit on the hot seat. So she on your future wifey and just want to give them something. But
like I said, she's never had anything good to say about him. Every time you see her speaking about her husband, look her up. I definitely forget her name, but whenever you hear her speaking about her husband, is never anything good, ever.
It's toxic as ever.
I've never heard her say anything good.
We always talk about toxic relationships, but there are toxic marriages.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because you married don't mean nothing. Like I always say, it doesn't mean anything. How is your marriage set up? Do y'all have respect for each other?
Yeah. Yeah. What happens before marriage doesn't just magically change after you say I do. Yeah. I think a lot of people think that. A lot of people think like, oh, well, once we get married, it'll be better. And it's like, that's not how it works. But like I said, with them, it just didn't seem like they should have been married to each other. And I think maybe that could be the issue a lot of times. Like people, from peer pressure or parents saying, when you going to give me a grandbaby? Y'all been shacking up for 5 years. When y'all going to get married? Or, you have these pressures and and deep down inside that you don't want to be with that person. But instead of disappointing.
The family.
I mean, you don't want to disappoint the family, and instead of doing that, you disappoint yourself, and then you live in misery, you live in toxicity, and then you start getting sick and depressed, and ailments. So I think a lot of times that's what it is. People can't live in their truth, and I think that's sad.
What's really sad is that it's like you didn't figure that out before you got married. Like people are so quick to, oh, I found the one. Wedding ring, house, car. Now they sit into this beautiful house, this nice ass car, have a kid, and they're like, damn, I don't even
now
like
you hate each other. Right.
That's the part that
if I don't like you like that, I just can't move forward.
Like as an adult, I think we all just have to do better. Like, I say this because I've been there and done that before I got with James. And I'm like, listen, if you don't have blah, 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 all these qualities long term, it ain't happening. I'm not going to waste my time dating you. I'm not going to waste my time in a relationship. That's kind of how I proceeded, because it's like I've been engaged before.
Right.
With James, and it's kind of like, no, I don't have time. So I think we just have to do better with like putting our foot down and knowing what it is that we want realistically. Going with that instead of like, I cannot even imagine if I got married quick. Like
that's not me either. And I'm not married, but I couldn't imagine. I was engaged. I wasn't fit to be a wife then, so it would have been. I don't think it would have been a good marriage. But I also think that women, they don't know themselves enough to know what they want and what they don't want. So they'll, live their lives and go with the flow, or do what their friends are doing, or they just won't take the time to get to know themselves, so they can be real with the man. You know what I mean? It's like women spend a lot of time putting up a front, or lying, or making men feel comfortable where they don't know how to make themselves feel comfortable. So I think that it's, because you want to respect the man, but then when you don't know yourself or don't know how to set boundaries for yourself, then you find yourself in a situation where it's like, how did I get here?
Yeah. And it's like, it's so good that me and you dodged a bullet, because imagine if we like settled and like, oh yeah, let's get married because we want to be married so bad, but we ain't vet the person properly. Like when you are dating, or when you get into an exclusive relationship, it should be like an interview. Like the whole time, at least for the first 6 months, year, make sure.
And but don't make it feel like an interview. I mean, it should be an interview, but finesse me a little bit, because don't interrogate me like, what's this and this. Like, no, like
naturally.
I think people hear these things on social media and then they take it literally, and it's like, wait,
you have to break it down. So yeah, not literally. Thank you, Precious, because I'm just like, just do this. No, literally, no. But interview, yes, in a sense of like, you don't just ask them 10,000 questions up front.
Right.
You have to learn how to read people by watching their actions. How do they speak? How do they interact with their family? The questions you have in your head will come out when you hang out with them. It'll come out when you go around them and their friends. It's going to come out. Everything don't have to be asked, but you want to be watchful. Like, you just want to be mindful and just like, okay, yeah, give everybody a fair chance. Yes, don't take your trust issues and put it on no one.
Right.
But you do have to, don't get so relaxed. Just like at jobs, there's some people that they get so relaxed and they ask get fired. Like, you slacking. You're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. So
and then be surprised.
Yeah, you got to make sure. What'd you say?
I said, and then be surprised. Like, why are you surprised?
Like, you was late 2 months straight. You forgot. Oh, they didn't say nothing. They didn't see you. You thought.
You thought your mama was up in here? No.
Right.
But you're right though. You gotta be on your game.
Gotta be on it. All right, let's get into the next clip.
24, right? And so I ended things. I went back on the scene. I mean, things worked out. I got married, I got the baby. But relatively speaking, if things didn't work out, And I said to myself, you know what? I do want a nice guy. I do want someone who's stable. I do want someone who's loving. Now that I'm older, I'm more reflective. I know you don't believe in older, but
Right.
I'm older, I'm more reflective, right? I could say I've now changed my mind and I want to reconsider this. Now, whether or not he wants to give me a second chance, I would say he'd be dumb for doing so.
I'm sorry. I think we missed the beginning. She was with someone when she was 24 years old, and he was a good man, and she ended things with him because she didn't want it. She wanted to be out there in the streets. So basically what she said.
But for me to go back, because I was the one who left, he was a good person. What I wanted has now changed.
Well, what if he wanted change too?
And now he don't want me?
Yeah.
I mean,
It don't be happening.
Like,
Not what her say he don't want me.
that's the thing. Like, I don't know. When you get with a good man and you just let him go. Okay, I understand when people say I wasn't ready. Like we as women understand that part. But a good man don't come too often. Like, so what do? Do you just get ready? Like and figure it out, or should you let him go like this lady did? What do you think?
Honestly, I think that you should let him go if you're not ready for him. Just like, we tell men, like, if you ain't ready for her, leave her alone. Don't bother her. I think it should be the same way with women who are not ready for good men, because a good man is always going to be a good man. So if you're not ready for him, that's your fault. That's your problem. You know what I mean? So that's her problem. So then to sit back and be like, oh, well, what? You're not going to want me no more? It's like, you don't even know the measure of your growth. Where are you getting that measure from? You know what I mean? Because you may think you better, but he might not think you're better. But honestly, he never thought you was a problem in the first place. You did. So now you could have put doubt in his head, like, oh, maybe she's not who I thought she was, or maybe she don't have the potential that I think she does. You know what I mean? But I think that if you find a good man, a man shouldn't have to fight tooth and nail for a woman to fit into his world. You know what I mean? It should flow. Now you're gonna have, like I said on Monday on my show, you're gonna have your aches and pains of becoming one. But to me, that's normal. And I guess I could say that because I've been on teams. I've worked on teams, and so everybody's not gonna. You have so many different personalities. Everybody's not gonna mesh well. I was a captain, so people would be fighting. I would have to break up fights, so I understand that when you're working as a team, you don't have that autonomy. So you have to learn how to work, with the person. So I think if and of course it's up to that good man as well, because only he would be able to necessarily see what he can tolerate or what he don't want to tolerate. But I honestly think that if he a good man, and you don't want to be with them, or you think that you ain't ready, let them go.
Yeah. But to me, like, all of that, what you said is right. It's just, when I hear someone say, even myself back in that time, I'm not ready, that means I don't like you like that. That's what that means. Because if you was that dude, I wouldn't even let you go. It's not happening.
This is true.
I'm ready today. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. I just don't think we didn't like them, is what happened.
I think that's the bottom line when it comes to a lot of stuff with women and men. And women just don't want to say, I ain't like you like that.
Yeah.
I just don't like you I just don't like you like that. You know what I mean? Like, how do you say that to a man who's interested in you? It's like, dang, you don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to, so I think that women really have a problem with saying, I just don't like you like that.
It's like,
and I don't know if men would have a hard time receiving that. And I don't think they would, because they're adults. Some of them may. But as an adult, if a woman is back to the sandbox days. If the little girl don't like you, leave her alone and let her be. There's plenty other girls in the sandbox. I think it comes down to, men are specific in what they like and what they're attracted to. Like, oh God, he's attracted to light-skinned women, and so he's going to stick, so I think it's when what they're attracted to may be not attracted to them, or what they're not, into them, so they may feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But I think that women have an issue with just, getting down to the nitty gritty, because if it's like, okay, I don't like you like that, then a guy can respond and say, okay, well, what don't you like about me? Like I think the conversation could go a little, like, you know what I mean? Like maybe we can have a conversation about this because maybe you have a representative on, right? Maybe you tense, maybe you know. So let's, you know, if I tell you like, man, I don't like you like that, you know, and it's like, well, what don't you like about me? And then you can get that from her, and then see what's up.
That's the thing. Like, we can reject a man off the street. Like, no, nah, I'm not feeling it, right? But a person that you've been with or you're dating, whatever, however you want to put it, when you get close and connected with somebody, it's hard to just be like, yeah, I'm not interested because you invested time. But what we as women, we got to teach is like, regardless if you invested time, you got to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like what you say in your show, what is it? Hot, open, what is it?
Honest. You had it. Honest, open, and transparent.
Okay.
You said hot, open.
Right.
Honest, open, and transparent. Be hot.
You gotta be hot because, like, what I think too is you gotta respect people's feelings.
Yeah.
You know, a man has feelings, and you gotta respect that. He deserves to know that you're not feeling him, not that you're stringing him along. And then when you see another dude that you are very interested in, and then you just leave old dude to be with him, that's how domestic violence, straight up. Like, you can't do that. You got to be respectful. I'm not feeling you like that, or however you want to say it. It's not going to be a nice way, but it needs to be a conversation.
Yeah.
If they ask you why not, you tell them why not. If it's something that's like real crazy, like, I'm just saying, if we talk about sex is why, you ain't got to go there. That's not even important, because that's not your solid foundation of a relationship. Is sex.
Right.
It needs to be other things, and then whatever you don't want them, leave them. Okay. So,
but if the sex is not good, though, are we leaving that out? I'm just saying, like, are you leaving that out? Because if you want to be honest, open, and transparent, right? So honest is saying, I don't like you like that, right? Open is saying, I don't like you like that because sexually I'm not satisfied. That's being open. Transparency is saying, you going too deep, or it's hurting, or, you know, maybe you're using the mouth right. I don't know. Like, that's being transparent. that's being transparent, because now you like really being vulnerable about exactly what you're being. It's like a process. Honest is like, okay, I'm gonna give you the truth. Open, I'm gonna tell you why I believe in that, what I'm telling you. And then transparency is like, all right, now we're about to just, for lack of better words and no pun intended, bust it wide open so we can get where we go with this conversation. Because if you value someone, you will be hot with them. It's only when you really don't value them, or you see no significance for them in your life, is where you feel as though you don't have to do that with somebody.
That's true. Also, with the open part, I think we need to be open when we hear the response. So if you're trying to tell this man you don't want to be with him and there's nothing you could do about it, then you don't have to be fully honest, because ain't nothing he gonna do to convince you otherwise. But if you want to be with this man, he just have to fix X, Y, and Z. Then you got to be open to hear and open to be patient. Because sometimes just because you're not ready doesn't mean that you can't get ready. Because, like I said, them good men don't come often. They are here and there, especially a patient one. So you got to be very wise with this, because it's a hit or miss. It's a hit or miss.
Yeah. But I think, men who know their worth will go somewhere where their worth is celebrated, I believe. I think anybody who is holding on to or trying to be somewhere where they're not valued, I think that would be foolish.
Yeah. I don't know. Men seem like they give women a lot of hope. And it's good and bad.
You think men give the women hope, or women give?
Yeah. So not all type of men. There are certain type of men out there that will give their lady hope. I don't want to put too many labels like the alpha, beta, and all that.
Mhm.
But I've seen men like the lady is no good, and they are with them, and why are you with her? Like,
You know what? Someone just told me a story the other day that sounded just like that.
like why?
Sounded just like that. She's no good, but he's still sticking around. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Why?
So if they have kids, majority of the reason is the children. They don't want to be out of the house having another dude raise. That would trump everything.
Mhm.
But if they still, I don't know, it's just sound crazy, but they still with them when the kids leave out the house. You know what I'm saying? They in college. That means that it wasn't about the kids. You just
Right.
want to be with her, and you're hoping that she's going to change.
Do you
I
think?
don't. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Men who do that, I just think they are more patient than they should be. And maybe they're not being hot, right? Honest, open, transparent because they don't want to hurt her feelings. So they just deal with it and they may say something here or there, but it doesn't do anything. So they just figure out something else to do. It could be, doing more sports, going to the bar more, hanging out with their friends,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
I wonder if it's also because there is you just know the schedule, you know the routine, there's a lot of comfort in knowing, what the day-to-day life will look like, even though you tired of that person that you with from day to day. But you could still, it's like it's the devil you know as opposed to the devil you don't know. That's that saying that they
Oh,
have.
okay.
Yeah, it's like you're used to, you know this person, so you know what they're gonna give you and what they're not gonna give you, and you know they mad at you, and you ain't gotta look at them. But if you left them, and you know what I mean, was in the dating market, you don't know what you're gonna get. But that's the risk you
That's a
take.
good point because you think men will stay, right? Because they don't want to go out there and get another demon, basically. But ladies, they will lead a man in a minute. And they will risk all and try to get another dude that's going to do the same thing anyways.
Yeah, men. I think men more times than not stay. You have your few men that's like, yeah, I'm not tolerating this,
Yeah.
and kudos to them because as a man, you should control what you tolerate and what you don't tolerate. So I think those men, they stay around because they know what they're getting with this woman. And they've had good times, they've had happy times with this woman as well, so it's not like it's all been bad. And like you said, then if there are children, that makes it easier to stay as well, because you want to be a good example to your kids. But when it comes to emotional health, how are you doing in that area? Because I think that affects your mental health, I think that affects your financial health, all those things are connected. So
Yeah.
that would be the reason why I think that they stay.
And this is the thing, a lot of people do the premarital counseling.
Hmm.
And what I don't normally see in the counseling is mental health. They don't talk about that.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, like a lot of these divorces, is stemming from mental health.
Yeah.
You see people not being patient dealing with someone having it or the person having it. Like mental health is huge. And I think that it needs to be in public schools, wherever your child is going, this should be talked about, as much as needed as often, not just for people who need the help, like the bad kids. No, all kids should know about mental health. College, there should be a class about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, it shouldn't be, psychology shouldn't be, I mean, you should teach psychology, but they teach it as a course, like a prerequisite, or like a special type of like you don't have to take it elective. But mental health definitely should be its own, you should have your own, you know, syllabus for a mental health class, because at the end of the day, it affects everything. It affects everything, and it's going to
Here.
affect everything while you're in college. But those are things that they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know those things in college. But it would be. I honestly think that premarital counseling should be mandatory before you get married. I really, really do, because it teaches you and you do have to vet. You do have to vet the person that you're about to be the hottest with, if you're doing it the right way, right? The most honest, open, and transparent with. But I think that it should be premarital counseling should be mandatory. I honestly do. Like, before you sign some marriage license, you should show how many hours you were in premarital counseling. Because at least, it's like, before I got my driver's license, I had to pass a class in high school. Like, I had to know what it was before I took the test, right? Before they put me on the road. So, and you don't always pass the road test because you don't know what's going on the road, but you know what's going on in the textbook, but you still need experience on the road. So you need to take the test again. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's the same with marriage. Like, if you go into premarital counseling, I would personally go to a Christian one, and I have been to a Christian counselor. Her name is actually Demita Thompson, and I trusted her. She's a Christian counselor, so she's given me the road map to a place she's been. Like, you know what I mean? And so I trust her, and I think that it's needed before I enter something that I've never been in before. I've seen it growing up. My parents are married. I've seen it, but it's not necessarily the same. I know what it looks like to be a wife. I know what it looks like to iron my dad's clothes and, serve him his food and things of that nature. But still, for myself, I still want to be able to call her and say, okay, well, what's going on in this situation? What should I do? How should I handle it?
Yeah.
I don't know. You need tools to build a house. You can't just come in there with a hammer. There are going to be other things, that stud finder, those other things, like, you know what I mean? So I think it should be mandatory.
That's true. Because a lot of us, we could have experience from just watching our parents or grandparents, but we don't have like that full on. A lot of parents aren't teaching. So it's kind of like you just thrown out there and then figure it out. And you normally have to figure it out with your person. So me and James, we had to figure it out. We actually didn't do the counseling, and that's just us. It worked for us because we were both very mature and we both wanted something serious. So that's why we were able to figure it out. But like you said, I think it is important that people do at least start off so they know what marriage is. It's not all that stuff you see in movies, as far as like that fairy tale part. Have to work. And it's not always drama, because sometimes it shows drama. It's not always drama. Yes, they say it's ups and downs, but it shouldn't be ups and downs every month. That should be maybe once a damn year, and if that, okay?
Right.
Because them ups and downs could ruin your relationship, your marriage. So I think it is important to start off with at least understanding the basic foundations. And
yeah, especially if you're seriously dating, you seriously dating, and you, especially man, you serious about her, you're going to, just like when it comes to doing things with your hands, right? Building a house or even things like investing, you're going to know what things you need to conjure up before going into that investment or going into building that house or whatever. So I think it's just wise to, you don't have to go all the time, but hey, let's make it a monthly thing. Let's, at the end of the month, like, if there's anything that we couldn't work out in the month, let's go to so-and-so and work on it. And the work is actually information given to you, exercises given to you that you wouldn't have come up with yourself. And if you did, you wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? So I don't think it should be looked at as a bad thing. I think it should just be, we just need a little bit of help. That's all.
That's all it is, for sure. Sorry I'm late. D, what's up? How you doing? My husband named our sons. We picked names together, but he named them. Okay.
Yeah, if it's a son, I don't even. You got that. Like, it's like you got that. That's all on you. I trust you.
especially the first one. Like,
Yeah.
I do not get that. Blaze says she's airing out personal matters on public platform like countless other people nowadays. No doubt, she was massive headache. Yeah.
Yeah.
If she's just open, able to just say that, like, come on now. Eugene said, evidently, I don't think this lady understand what a good man was. Yes, because, but I think, like I said, it's because she probably just did not like him like that.
Yeah.
Come on.
And sometimes people just really don't recognize a good man. Sad to say.
That's very, very sad. All right. So you seen this?
Yes, I said whoever edited that did a good job because I wouldn't have been able to get it looking like that.
I know. Like, I don't understand. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe, click on the notification bell, y'all, every Wednesday at 7.
Says she is.
Okay, so we're going to get right into it. So as far as them calling her a predator or Jalen Green has been groomed. So let's just watch this.
Pregnant with the baby of a former student. McCommon was first arrested in September, charged with rape of a child and posted bond. She was rearrested as detectives worked to identify 21 potential victims of the former Covington teacher, stemming from an investigation involving 5 of the victims, ranging in age from 12 to 17 years of age. Charges that go beyond the initial use of solicitation through electronic means. News of additional charges sparked outrage from one Covington woman who didn't want to be identified.
It was bad enough when it was only one, but now there's so many more. How did that happen?
So I wanted to share this because a married 4th grade teacher, right, was sleeping with a 12-year-old child, and that child now created a child. To me, something like this is grooming, predator type of behavior because he's 12.
Right.
As far as Drea goes, right? Drea and Jalen Green. Honestly, I can't say that she's a predator. So I'm giving you my opinion right now. I don't think she would be a predator. I wouldn't say that she grooms him because he is grown. Like, he is out the house. He has a career. It's pretty stable right now. He's had experience dating. So I think he knows what he's doing. It's not like that was his first girlfriend or something out of high school. He's 22 years old, right? So groomed, I don't want to say that he was groomed. I don't want to say that she's a predator. What about you?
The only thing to me that would make it predatory is because of the intent behind it. She is having a baby with him to be financially secure. So she's not having a baby with him because she loves this man. She's not having a baby because she actually wants a family with him. She's having a baby because she wants a baby. And that's what a lot of women do. I think he agreed to it. Because I just feel like he probably just agreed to it, or I don't know. Maybe he didn't agree to it. I don't know. We haven't heard from him about this.
You never know. Like, these babies be planned.
Yeah, like exactly. Maybe maybe this wasn't planned on his end, but it was planned on her end. So that's why I feel like it is predatory because the man is 22, but not predatory in a way where she groomed him. They are adults. I think she's trying to get financial gain off of him, and so she's using her charm and her lust. I think it's like a Delilah spirit. Like she's using those things to make sure that she is secure. It's not even about him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not even like, okay, you got money and I'm gonna love up on you and be with you for life. From the clip that I saw that I showed you earlier, to me it sounds like, do I want a relationship with him? What do you mean? I want a baby. That's not what I said. I said I wanted a baby. Like she was so matter of factly when she said that. So she was being honest. I didn't take that for anything else from her. You know what I mean? So I think it was just like she said, you want a baby, I want a baby. We're grown adults. Let's have a baby. But never once in that interview did she say, "Oh yeah, one day I want to settle down and have a child, have a family." Yes, one day, I could see myself, cooking dinner on Christmas Eve with the family around the table. No, she wants to be able to secure her future as a woman so she don't have to work, so she don't have to, do as much and be a mom, which she can naturally do. She can naturally give birth. And so, she is taking her womanhood to a whole nother level. She's selling it.
She's selling it. She reminds me of Lauren London.
Yes.
Lauren had her first kid with Lil Wayne. It wasn't even exclusive.
Brittany Renner. Didn't she have a kid with but were they that different in age though? He was younger, wasn't he?
I don't know much about Brittany Renner, but
she got with somebody either in the NFL, NBA, I forget, but pretty much she seduced him, young kid, and now they got a kid together, and she trying to take him for all this child support. She never intended on being with that man.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like the ladies who are already in the industry have their acting or whatever career that they have going on. Instead of just working hard and getting your bag up from your talent, you want to go and still like, nah, that's not good enough. This money ain't gonna come forever, and complaining like Taraji P. Henson. She's like, oh, I'm broke, right? They like, nah, I gotta secure the bag and get this money from a
yeah. And I think that
it's weird.
Somebody like Drea, who's been, on a show like Basketball Wives, where you're around Shawnee, you're around, Evelyn Lozada, like you said, you're around those people in LA where, it's Hollywood Central and you with all those stars or whatever. You are not going to do it like the regular woman out here. That's like, oh, I'm going to find my man at the grocery store. And you know what I mean? No, you are going to be plotting and planting to see who's new on the scene, who haven't, because although Hollywood is Hollywood, they also say it's very like a small knit community too. It is. So, you're going to be doing your research. And before now, I've never heard of this guy, but maybe others have, I've never heard of him. Yeah. So he's new to the scene, you know what I mean? And so now he's just one of those kids that's in the headlines that I don't know where he grew up or where his parents were, but he's just one of them who's one of them babies that came out when he was, at the brink of his career, then had a baby with Drea Michelle. Like, oh, you have children? Yeah. Who's the mom? Drea Michelle. People will be like, what? Right? That's all wives, girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's or will you even acknowledge your child? That's what it's. I don't know. She's very proud of it, but we don't know what he has said about it.
She's very proud of it. And when I was going through his social media, I didn't see a picture of his dad. I just saw a picture of his mother and a whole bunch of other women. So if he doesn't have his dad, or I'm not sure if something happens to the dad, he didn't have that male figure either to be like, okay, you doing too much. Now you trying to be having a kid with this older lady. And then do you know anything about her? Like, you just want to have a child. You don't want no relationship. Like,
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, see, this is what, I don't know if his dad was in his life or not, but he is also on a team, right? And on a team, you try to have that type of family unit. I've seen so many cases of where children didn't, because I played basketball, but I also coached and reffed and did all that. But you see so many cases where the kids do not have that family support, right? So on the team, you're trying to be the family support for them, and unfortunately, some kids, you would think that you being on a team and doing well for yourself, you would stay on that journey, but sometimes you repeat things that you don't even realize you're repeating that's in your blood. You know what I mean? Like it's literally passed down in your blood, and so. Like I said, I don't know what his family situation was like, but even, being on a team, you would think a little bit differently. because it gives you a little bit more structure and discipline. It
There you
teaches
go.
you how to be structured and disciplined. So you would think you would carry that on in your personal life to keep on track with everything else.
That's a good point. And I would definitely think the same, but it ain't work for him.
How did that happen?
So yeah. Let's get into the next clip, y'all.
Just found out that Drea is pregnant by the young boy Jalen Green. And they said Jalen and her son the same age. So like, do that make that nigga like the youngest step pop in the history of the game? Like, how many step pops out here the same age as they stepson? That's wild. Like, imagine how he blaze your mom, then tell you to go get him something to drink. Yo, give me something to drink out there. Yo, that's crazy. Like, you like, nigga, go get your own fuck you. Tell me we the same age. We the same age, nigga, but I just spanked your mother, nigga. Go give me some iced tea out the refrigerator, nigga. Yo, that's wild. That's crazy.
It's crazy though. He not lying. It's like, what type of respect level is there? You know, it's like you seeing like these baby aunts. It's like, how is that your aunt? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but biologically, that would be your aunt, but you're not really respecting. You're calling her your cousin because she, you know,
she's so younger than you, I think.
Right. So, you know, it is that case of when this girl asks for her daddy and she looking at her brother and then looking at her daddy, she gonna be like, are we at a party or what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's not even gonna take it serious. I mean, I would hope she would because that's her dad. But her and her, the way that I believe, because Drea looks at relationships the way that she does, she's going to raise her daughter to do the same thing. And so her daughter probably is not even going to see a problem with it. She's going to raise her daughter, you stay in these circles, because in these circles is where you'll win. In these circles, this is where the bag is. Yeah. She's going to teach her daughter that. It's just like Little Miami. Is that her name? Right? Little Miami? Miami? Did I put a little in front of? I put a little in her. Lord Jesus, help me.
Young Miami.
Young Miami. Where she was like, oh no, I don't want my daughter doing this. But it's like, you didn't want to struggle. So you hustled and then you became what you became. So are you going to tell your daughter to struggle? No. You want to tell her, hey, look, this is how I came up out of my, you know, brokenness or stressful situation or out the hood. You know what I mean? So right. That's the sad part about it. She's having a girl and that's what she's going to impart on her daughter. You know, because she never wanted a relationship. So to me, the apple's not going to fall far from the tree. She's going to teach her daughter that. She's going to teach her how to be successful in that way.
She reminds me of, what is it, Jada Pinkett. Remember the story with Jada Pinkett? She said that her grandmother taught her how to please herself when she was like 10. You remember that story?
I didn't hear that story.
Yeah, that story was crazy. So
her grandmother, Jada Pinkett said her grandmother taught her that?
Mm-hmm. When she was young, she said, you don't ever need a man. And then she taught her how to please herself. Like, she didn't want her to want for a man or need him for anything because you could do it yourself. So we already know moms are saying that with money, right? They're saying, oh, be independent. You don't need no dude. But she went all the way to just the sex. Like, you don't even need him for this. Learn how to get off on yourself. Young age. You know, when I heard that story, I was like, that's weird and it's crazy. And the way how Drea Michelle is acting, that she doesn't really want the commitment, and I think that's based off of hurt as well. She will teach her daughter the same thing, I bet.
Yeah, I just don't think that Drea Michelle wants to be committed to one man. You know, I don't see her wanting that. And if she was you said she was with the other guy for a very long time, but never married him, that could have did a number on her too. Maybe she expected him to marry her. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? So it could be a lot of reasons why she doesn't want the the family unit, but it's definitely clear she don't want to be committed or strapped down to a man, and she's not going to allow a baby to be the reason why that happens, you know?
That's true. Some women, they just they think it's easier. You know, like strippers, they're in the strip club because it's easy. Just look good, show your body off, dance, twerk, you get money. So I think she's resting in that phase, I think.
Yeah,
Because,
she's like, look, I can have babies.
right? Like,
Amen.
as a lady, it's kind of like that shouldn't be the only thing that you think about.
Right.
So, mm-mm-mm.
Do you want any more kids, or are you done?
Oh yeah, I want more kids.
Like how many?
Like one, I think.
So like the person you're
I don't
dating, you see like a future with them?
I think the question you were asking me is if I wanted more kids, and I feel like I want more kids, and
Yeah.
I feel like at this point in my life, right?
Yeah.
The relationship is amazing to have, right? But that's not what I'm basing having a kid on, because
Right.
I'm very non-traditional. I feel like you can co-parent without being in a relationship. Maybe.
So so it's like, since we see people co-parenting, that's like the norm. That's just how it goes. There's nothing that anyone can do to change that, it seems like. Cool, but a lot of times that stuff does not work out well. So for you to plan, that's like me getting married and planning for the divorce. Like, you don't plan for the tragic part. Like if you were a child, like for me, I was a child where I had it all nice. My parents were married, and then that shit came to an end when I was 10. And then I had to be like, oh, this is how it is, single mom life and all this other stuff, right? And I'm like, no, right? So as an adult, I'm like, I don't think that I should plan to just be a single mom by choice and then have the father come in and out whenever he wants, or have it arranged. So to see women planning that, like, if things happen, it happens, but to plan it, that obviously is non-traditional. She admitted that she's not. But I believe then don't have kids then, because kids are supposed to come from the family. The family is supposed to raise that child until they're becoming an adult. That's the proper way to do it. And it helps, not have the child have so much trauma. A loving family, the child comes out a lot better. And I feel like women who say that are very selfish, and I don't think they love their kids as much to say that, because that is not what's best for the child to plan it like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Unfortunately, it's bad for women to actually plan it that way, just because it takes two to have the baby. So to plan the life of a child without including the father, or just if he shows up, he shows up. If not, it is what it is.
Yeah.
To plan it like that, it really shows you the direction and where we're going. I forget what state it is now. Women who have their is it Ohio? Women who have their eggs frozen, they're considering those frozen eggs as fetus, like as embryos. And so they're pretty much saying like they're not going to be able to freeze their eggs anymore. So there's a lot of women who are setting aside, eggs for for if they don't get married or if they can't have kids. But a lot of them, it's if they can't, get married, but they still want to have kids. She's literally, like you said, planning it in the sense of, you want to have a kid, I'll have a kid, and then we can co-parent and not necessarily be together. And it's just scary for the kids, because they're not going to know what a true family dynamic is. They're going to be confused, and you have to break it down to them. You're going to have to, then explain why y'all are not together and things of that nature. So I think that Drea Michelle,
it's just from our traumas. Like, I can understand why people are like this. Like, her childhood wasn't the greatest. If you see the way her mother looked like she was on something, right? So I understand, like, I actually get sad now. I'll be watching, like, it's a comedian, Norman something. Anyway, this guy is like, I guess, trans or whatever, but he is hilarious, right? But I always wonder, like, why does he look like this? Why does he act like this? He is a boy from birth, but he wants to be everything, right? But he has amazing talent. So I seen a picture that he shared that he was adopted at 8 years old. So that let me understand that he was in the foster care system, because I think something happened to his parents, but he was in a foster care system up until he got adopted. And it made me sad, because I'm like, oh, this is why. Because some people don't know how to deal with their traumas. They don't have, some people they just don't have it. So to know that he came from that life, and I'm like, damn, who knows what happened? And now, he probably was saved, but was his adoptive parents good to him? You know how it could go. Just because you adopted don't mean that you still have a great life. If you do, it still works out. But it just made me understand him more, to say, okay, this is why you chose this, because you're hurting. And this is what you resulted in. And those type of stories are kind of sad, because I'm like, damn, only if he had that family. He could have maybe had a better chance. You know what I'm saying?
I think that I come from the foster care adoption background, and I think that a lot of the feelings about that is that you don't have a say, right? You don't have a say in what's happening to you. You're here one day, you're there another day. You're seeing so many different faces. There is no stability. So I think, and I don't know who you're talking about, but a lot of times, you just want to have the ability to make a choice for yourself, right? And that's the choice that he made. But it could be the same as, like what you're saying, he's hurting, because a lot of times when you go through foster care adoption and things of that nature, nobody really talks about it. So you don't know, the person next to you could be adopted or in foster care, but because they're ashamed to talk about it, you would never know. People would come in and be like, I would have never known that you were in foster care or adopted. And I'm like, well, what is this supposed to look like?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what exact? Oh, really? I know. Okay, so I know exactly who that is. I didn't know that about him, but hilarious.
He is hilarious, right?
Hilarious.
Dying. But that's true. There's, like, adoption or whatever don't got no face. Like, what the
No, it doesn't.
It's not even supposed to look like that. I'm just saying, like,
right. But I would have never known that was his background.
Right. It just surprised me, because I see him going, like, you should see his pictures. It's very, very I don't know, futuristic type, and gender, you don't know what he's doing that day. And sometimes, people that are in that space is different. I feel like they're lost, because you don't know what you want to do. So that's why I say that. Now, I don't think any of that has a face. It just makes me understand, okay, this could be the reason, because I've heard crazy stories with the foster and adoption. Everybody does not have a good one. And it does shape a lot of them. Like, that trauma does not go anywhere. Some people don't know how to handle it. So that's why I say that. But, like, you are adopted and you've been in that space, so you have full hand sight on it, including people that were friends with, I'm pretty sure, in that same space, right?
Yeah, it comes down to choice, and then another thing is identity, because it's like you don't know who you are, especially those people who were adopted at birth. Don't get told, and then somebody at family did it, and blurted it out. That's why you was adopted. Your world kind of shifts. It's like, okay, well, who am I now? And because he probably already has issues with his sexuality, that's probably why the pictures look crazy, because it's who am I? Like, who am I really at my core, or who am I trying to be, or who do I feel the best as? You know. And that's why I always say, be real with yourself so you can be real with others. Because it took me a while to be real with myself, because I felt like I had to I'm the adopted kid, so I feel like I got to be perfect for you. Like I got to be grateful that I have to. But it was like I wasn't being me to the core, and I felt like being me wasn't going to fit in with you. But you gotta. It's a journey. It really is a process for a lot of kids that are in foster care and adoption, and a lot of them don't go on the journey gracefully because they don't have people to talk to. They don't have anyone to really open up about it. They don't think anybody's going to understand them.
Yeah.
People are going to judge them. So,
Mhm.
identity is a huge one in that space.
It is. And that's just one part of it. We have adoption and foster care. And then we have people who never met their dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like those stories be weird as hell to me. Oh, I don't know who your dad is and stuff. And you got all these shows that proves that. But imagine like, okay, there's one thing for adoption, but then there's one thing, you know your mommy, but you don't know your dad. And you would never know him. You are never gonna meet him. It's like the same space. So my question always was like, is it better to not know someone? Because sometimes there's people you don't know him because he's bad for you, right?
Mhm.
So you get to know, let's say, the dad, and he puts more trauma on you than you would ever had in your life.
Right.
Like, should you know this crazy man? Or
Man, oh gosh, this is why I know God. Okay, I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna look right there in the camera. This is why I know God, because there are so many things I don't know. Like I don't know my biological father. I've never met him. So it's like if I looked at it like, dang, why is this happening to me? And why don't I know him? And I literally have to, a lot of things have unfolded in my life where it's just like, why did that happen? And how did that happen? And why is it happening to me? And I used to be angry and like mad about it. But after a while I had to be like, okay, God must be doing something. I don't know what it is. I really can't, like, that's how God revealed himself to me, and everybody has their own story. But with my life being the oldest of 7 kids and only me and my brother were raised together, not growing up with my other siblings, but meeting them later on, not knowing my father, like it's a lot of different elements of my life that no man can take account for. Like it would only be God. Like, you know what I mean? And so I think when we have those questions like, well, how do you get through? And honestly, if you don't have God, it's going to be hard. It's going to be real hard because you're going to be searching. There are going to be answers that you're wondering why you don't have. And then you're going to be up late at night trying to get the answers. You're going to be calling people, like, you know what I mean? And so I think that's why it's so important to have a spiritual relationship, like a relationship with God, because certain things bring him to you, but for me it was a lot of questions. It was like, why this, why that, why this, why that, and it was questions that nobody could answer for me.
And that is true. I think for the ones, because I don't think it's a lot of kids that become adults that had that great upbringing. Okay, like it's always something.
The American dream is not as
It's not like it's not happening today. I think it's a very small percentage. So I think what you said is by having, the Most High, is something that everybody could take, because there are kids who have both their parents and their parents treat them like shit. So it's like they ask themselves, why are they doing this to me? Why do they have me in this space? Why did they treat me like that? And guess what? They could never have those answers. So what we tell them, accept them for who they are. Right? Because you can't change people. So you got to find the Most High, accept them for who they are, and just, don't bother with them as much. Always say, make sure you, whatever you can obtain from them, having that conversation, stick on that. But if it's something that's going to take you guys into an argument, don't have that conversation. Talk about rainbows and beaches if that's all it takes to be happy with that person when you're talking. You know what I'm saying? Some questions are not going to be answered. I had to learn that part. It's not going to be answered. And why am I going to stress myself trying to figure this out? Girl, I'm telling you, that is hard. That would put you in depression.
Yeah. I was just going to say, even the Bible says, like, don't take yourself too seriously. You know what I mean? Like, I had to I would always question like why this, why that, why this, but then I'm like I can't take this too seriously because it's bigger than me. Like you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna have to ride the wave.
Right.
I'm just gonna have to ride the wave, and I'm okay with that.
Well, that's good. Yeah, we'll talk more about your story too. That's amazing. You still do the Sunday.
I have to bring it back. I was going out of a book when I introduced it, but I have to bring it back. The adoptee. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always good. We're very diverse on this show. So, all right, let's get into it.
Maybe just two people say, "Hey, you want a kid? I want a kid. Let's just have a kid," and like let's just
Really?
see.
So you would?
Hold up, but why him though?
Right. It's like you want to go to movies. I want to go to movies. Let me ride with you. Like whoa.
I hate this for people to even see this. Like,
I'm going to the store. You want a sandwich? I want a sandwich. I'm gonna go get some sandwiches. Like that's
going on it.
That's
Salt and pepper, like nah.
That's what it sounds like. Like it's a whole child, and you know this, Drea, because you have two of them. You have two of them. So it's like, okay, well, one is an adult now, the same age as the man that you. It's really weird to me. It's like why you may find him attractive, but the thing you find most attractive is his money. And yes, you tell women to be with a man that can provide and all those good things that we say, right? But at the end of the day, intent matters. Like it matters. And so you may think that you're solidifying something now, but let's just pray for the child and a healthy delivery. I'll just say that.
Yeah, because raising kids it's even hard for me and James, and there's two of us over here. So imagine you just planning it like that. Like, come on now. Like,
I'm very like free spirit. I'm very open and just.
Got the kid by him, bro.
Okay, this guy is from Raising Canaan on Power.
Oh, really? I haven't watched that.
You never watched it? Oh, this is
no. I started watching Power after the first few seasons.
Stop playing.
I did. I liked the show, but then I just stopped watching it. No. And now they about to come out with something else now.
You got a lot to catch up on, but I love that Power. Not Raising Canaan is about 50 Cent, but Power itself, I don't know. It was a lot of drama. I'm not gonna lie, but it was good. Anyway, he's on Raising Canaan. It's one of the uncles to Canaan, and he's a dad too. But
she's passed around goods. So you think you're the guy because you got a pretty woman and she's pregnant. You don't know. Oh, you got to the party late. You don't know she done topped all of us off.
She done topped all of us off. Like she went. I don't know if she always was this way.
He's talking about Drea, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about Drea?
Yes. He was basically saying that Jalen Green, he doesn't understand. He don't know what he got himself into. She's a 304. This is what she does. And my thing is, I don't know if she's always been like this. I think to me, she became this way because she was very faithful to one man for a while. That didn't work out. And she just went like a Future, or like a Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was in love with Mariah Carey. And then that went downhill. So what did he result in?
Yeah. I mean, she's really, they say there's power in the P, but she's really, she's taking it to a different level. But it's not nothing that hasn't been done before, right? Like Drea is a dime a dozen when it comes to women wanting to have babies with these men who have these high salaries coming in for them. So unfortunately, that's why I say he's on a team. Like, wasn't nobody in his corner. Like, did nobody warn him? Like, yo, bro, like that's Drea from around the way. Like no one said anything because they've been dating for at least a year now, right? I thought I read it's been at least a year.
Yeah.
So maybe because of his age, he has a lot of people in his age bracket. Maybe they don't know who she is. I don't know.
Nah.
I don't know.
Nah.
they don't know who the girl is. They probably had to Google her. Like, who you with? Huh? I don't know. Maybe she is about to be 40. There's a age gap there. So while her loving or basketball wives was coming on,
yeah,
they was in papers. Like, like
yeah. It's
so I don't know.
It's just
She
weird.
knew what she was doing.
She did. And she got young with the money. Like, he's new into this space and he is getting it, right? So she knew what she was doing.
And I think it's different than, and I don't know why, for some reason, when I saw him, I thought of Simone Biles, guy that she's with. I don't know if they maybe like favor each other a little bit. But the difference is, at least Simone Biles in love with the man. Like, at least she want to marry him. At least she want to, I'm pretty sure she want to have his babies. They got a whole house being built in Texas. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing the things for a family unit because of a family, and she is showing him that she wants to be committed to him, is what I'm trying to say. She's showing him that I'm going to take these steps to be committed to you. I know you playing this football game, but I want to be your wife. I want to be the one supporting you. Drea, like, you want to have a baby? I want to have a baby. Let's have a baby. And just, you get a baby. You get a baby.
Right.
That's how she's operating. And it's just odd. But I don't.
It's
and it's the fact that she's having a girl too.
Yeah.
Because now he really probably not going to see the child because it is a girl. Like, she's probably going to have favoritism. I'm just saying, like, we just saw one lady didn't even want to have the child to be a junior. Drea might be one of those moms like, well, she's a girl, she needs to be with me. Why? Like, I could just see it now. I could just see the headlines now. Like, 3 months in, 6 months in, Drea, Michelle, and Jalen, with the little heartbreak line, and them having a argument because he wanted to see the child. She don't want to let him see the child. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Let me pull this up because it reminds me of when I used to watch that show. Miss Nikki Baby. Let me see.
Nikki Baby.
Did I ever? This girl, she was here she go. She was a love and hip hop star, and she had a baby with, the Ball family, the Ball kids.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So she's, I think, 12 years younger than him.
Younger?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's very fake, made up and stuff. But yeah, she's 10, 12 years younger than him. Okay. And he had a baby with her and everything. And they are together, though. They planned that in a relationship as a loving family.
Okay.
But Drea and Jalen, they're not doing that.
No.
It's kind of like hook up, baby, and so.
Right. Whatever goes. See, now, so on the flip side of it, I actually feel differently. Like, for an older man to get with a younger woman, to me,
no,
I'm
he's
not.
Younger. He's younger. The picture I showed you.
Wait, I thought you said she was 10 to 15 years younger than him.
He's younger than her. So it's the same.
Oh, he's younger. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
She's in her 30s, he's in his 20s. It's like the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they plan to be together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
that's different. But the only difference with her is she didn't have any kids. She never was married or nothing like that. So that would be her first child and his first child. And he was someone in high school, that didn't work out. And then he got with somebody way older. And he is in the NBA as well. So I don't know. Look, they friends, is he friends with this Jalen guy? I'm like, yeah, I did it. It's good. Who knows?
I don't know. But he also has his father in his life. So his dad probably was like, hey, look, you ain't gonna be one of these ball players out here just laying seed everywhere. I think a lot of them do have a plan going in. Kobe, wife and kids. Shaq had wife and kids. Like Steph Curry, wife and kids. Like these these ball players know that they're going to be on the road. They need somebody to hold them down. They need someone to raise the children. They need someone to be there, and Drea knows that, but she also knows that, hey, why do I have to get married to him? And it's like, you have a choice to get married or not, but love ain't even in the equation. Like, being in a loving relationship's not even in the equation. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stone cold. Like, you want to have a baby? I just keep hearing her say that. Like,
it's just but the thing is, I guess because she's honest with it, and a lot of women are not just saying it. They may say it to their friends in the corner. You never know. Like I tell James all the time, girl talk is like, it's very different. You don't.
But why not just go to a sperm bank though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why not just go to a sperm bank? Why, huh? A sperm bank. Like, why not just go to a sperm bank and say, I want a child, and they have designer babies now. You could pick out the color of their eyes and what they look like. Yes. I have a friend who has a friend who has a designer baby, and she got money and she picked out how the baby looked. And so,
like, what does baby look like?
I don't know. Did he ever show me a picture? He may have shown me a picture a long time ago.
Blonde hair, green eyes.
Yeah, you can pick the features. I mean, you got to have money to
do that. Yeah,
to do that. But I don't know. I just think that she was just so cold with it. But you're right. She told the truth. But my thing is, if that's the case, just go to the sperm bank, get some cold sperm. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna be that cold with it, like, you know what I mean? Because you making him look bad at this point. You making him look like, he really is a little dummy that don't know what he doing, and it's embarrassing. I'm wondering what his family, how his family feels about the situation.
I wonder too, because it's sad. They probably are crying right now.
But congratulations on the newborn.
Got the young boy.
Damn, if they only knew. But like, I was shocked too, though. Like that day when I was riding home with Philly in the car. Yeah. I don't know if I can tell that story. If you want me to tell that story.
No, she's a mother now.
She's a mother now. Yeah, we can't do that because that day changed my life. I ain't gonna lie. That day changed my life. That's when Swaggy P was like, okay, now I gotta. This is what NBA is about.
Hey, listen. Hey, NBA. Hey, listen. I'll let you know. This is.
Yeah. When I'm riding in the car. He in the back seat. I turned my head. This nigga against. Huh?
No.
What was you doing in that back seat, Gil?
Huh?
What was you doing in that back seat? We went to the strip club.
Pregnant.
Woo, man.
So they talking about, like, they talking about her. Talking about her.
I never knew she went down like that until recently. I stopped watching her page for a while, but when I was, I didn't see it like that. Now it's like she's more like a Amber Rose type, like a newer version, or I should say a younger. I don't even know if they're the same age, but I would say newer because Amber Rose been doing this long time, right? She been like that. But Drea Michelle, she never came out like that exactly, like where she's in the car just doing whatever with.
I don't know. I believe that once you're associated with like a Love and Basketball or Basketball Wives, or with that type of franchise or whatever, I think you are down to do whatever. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to get yourself out there. You're trying to make a name for yourself, whether it's off of some petty drama or fighting or whatever the case may be. Being in that drama or that mess actually makes you more noticeable, so I could see Drea getting down with the basketball team, because again, she wants to solidify her future. I think she wants to, like I said, I don't think she wants to be locked down by one person. I think that, look, I got what I got from you, keep it moving. I got what I got from you, keep it moving. I think that's how she's moving.
Do you know why? I don't get it. Why do women choose that life? That choose the lifestyle like that? Like being with a man is not. I wouldn't say it's the easiest thing in the world, especially if you don't know anything about a man. Like you learn. But I guess coming from a marriage, like my parents were married, so I seen a lot of marriages at one point, and then I seen no marriages. It depend on the state. Like, in the South, you see more marriages. In the North, it was like it's non-existent. So when I seen both sides, like I seen both, and I'm like, that no, this yes. So it's like, why are women choosing? Like, you have one incident where this happened to you, right? But then you continue to go down that path. Why do women choose that? That's what I'm trying to say.
Why they continue to go down the path? Ooh.
Yeah, like that's better than getting with a man and living your whole life with him.
I don't think that Drea is the kind of woman that would want to be challenged. It's easy to keep doing what she's doing because it's working for her, right? Most people don't change until something's not working for you and you really have to change. I think that it's working for her. She's keeping her body in good shape. She's staying in the places where she needs to benefit financially. So I just think for her, why change up now? Why commit myself to someone when I don't have to? Why when one of these men can give me their sperm and I'm good to go? You know what I mean? It's there's no reason for some women to change. They don't see a reason for themselves to change because they feel as though it's working for them. And
that I believe that too, and I also think it could be they never had a good man before.
Yeah, it's a selfish mindset. It's a selfish mindset. And then for Drea, I don't know. Do she go after good men? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that her target audience? Or are good men going after her? Like, you know what I mean? Or is that what she's attracting? She might not be attracting a good man. She might just be attracting the men that want to, do whatever in the back of the van, after basketball practice. That could be what she's attracting. So, maybe that's another reason why, she doesn't desire marriage, because maybe she doesn't feel like she can really love a man, like LOVE, love a man. Like, she could lust after one and she can have sex with him and things like that, but can you love him? You know what I mean? Are you the woman that when this man gets in from practice, running him a bath or running him a foot bath or massaging him, like, she may like those things done to her and for her, but can she give those things, so, and on a regular basis?
Not everybody's able to do that. It's all in the mind.
It's a mental thing. Yeah.
You have to want to do it. It's like a care, nurture.
Exactly.
And, yeah, that's true.
And so she feels like she could do it with kids because kids aren't going to challenge her. She has money, so she can pay for the nannies or the maids or housekeepers. She could pay for all those things that make it easy for her to be a mom who doesn't have to laundry, dinner, like, you know what I mean? She don't have homework. She don't have to worry about all those extra things. So it's probably easier for her to be, a mom too. It's not as stressful as someone who doesn't have those amenities and have to do it on a regular day basis, plus work a 9 to 5, plus, you have a husband, like, you're doing all those things. So maybe her lifestyle affords her to be a very, a very in tune mom, in the fact that she don't have to do the outside extra stuff. She could just be her, like, you know what I mean? She could just show up.
That's true. Like, if you have maids, nannies, and all these chauffeurs and all this stuff, if you can get it every day, that is a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's just, without the man, it's like Okay, so you just basically a showstopper everywhere.
Yeah, the baby is like a trophy, you know. I mean, that's what she do. She probably has like bookings where she does showings where they pay her a certain amount of money to be in a certain place. So her job is not strenuous, you know. It's not like she has a strenuous job. So she probably wants to keep it that way in her motherhood too. Like, you know, again, she has no reason to change, so she's not going to change.
Whew. All I know is that is not a life that I believe, I guess some women can have because their mindset is not there to care and nurture anything. But I don't think, overall, that is not a life that anyone should choose. Especially as a lady, we are more than just having a child. Having a husband is different. It's a different lifestyle. But I don't think, we should be alone. I think that we should have a companionship, someone that we can grow old with. Let's get back to that. Because that, you ever watch, older people, 90s, in their 90s. I've seen it firsthand. 90s, still married. And I'm like, wow, like that. And then you see now there's a trend going on where couple 80 years old, they got their kids in the background, their kids in the background. It's like they built this life. Like that type of stuff is what makes me keep going. And I think that's where we should go, because not only is it love and care with it, but it's also community building. Because when our kids, they're, as they get older, who is going to be for them? So it's kind of like, if we keep like, no, let's just have kids with whoever, or don't have kids at all, there's not going to be nothing left for these little ones. Like my youngest is 2.
Well, the little ones, they going to be looking to her IT and the technology. It's sad to say, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just because we have taken the community out of it, we it's straying so far from that. I remember seeing on social media this, past winter, it snowed quite a bit more than it has the prior years, right? And I saw a post that said, damn, you don't even see kids going door to door to see if they could get money to shovel snow anymore. And that's a real thing. Like my parents used to have us shoveling our driveway, the neighbor's driveway, the other neighbor's driveway, and this was for free. This wasn't even for a couple dollars. My mom was like, go and get their driveway.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even to get paid. So, hard work and showing up is going to be a thing of the past, and it's going to be a thing where you can chill. Nobody has to see you, and you can make money.
Yeah.
Like they're not going outside. What? So the streetlights come on, huh? What? Like, no, that's a thing of the past. Like that's what we used to do. Like, okay, streetlights come on, let me go in the house. That's not a thing anymore. Now it's, let me just chill and relax, but still be productive. But I don't have to talk to anybody while doing it, or I don't have to be face to face with anyone while doing it.
Everything is so virtual reality these days. Even with working from home, like it's different. So I'm trying not to get caught up in that, because that's what's happening. Doing it for so long, work from home, or now you got the YouTube content creators everywhere. People are becoming millionaires, being in their house, filming whatever they created. But we still got to remember, let's go outside. Let's interact with people. Let's meet people. Let's, have those game nights, with friends and family. So that's where we got to get back into it. Even the kids have the slumber parties. They say, oh, I don't trust nobody. But I remember when I used to do slumber parties. It was fun. Have slumber parties with people you trust. It don't have to be 20 kids. It just be like a set, a little amount. Have those things, create those memories with your children and yourself, with whoever. It's like, it's endless. So many things to do. So
yeah, that's important. It's very important. Because time is flying. Time is flying, and before you know it, your kids are going to be out the house, and you're going to be wondering where they're at, what they're doing, who they're talking to. So get involved now while you can. And don't make it weird. Just, just inquire and be very inquisitive, but interested in their lives. Because that's another thing. Kids don't be feeling love because the parents be having their own thing going on, and they don't take the time to actually
Talk to them.
get that hot conversation from their kids. Yeah. So, it's important to get that at the younger ages. So they have a reason to come to you and talk to you. You don't want the friends to be like, "Oh, what do you think I should do?" You do want to be the first line of defense. But that's what happens when you have two parents. You know what I mean? When one's a little tired, the other one can, step in, it's easier. So that's why I say with Drea, she has hired some type of
help,
assistance and help. Yeah, because it's easier. It's, it helps her. It helps her probably stay in a better attitude. But kids are kids though. So no matter how much help she has or whatever the situation may be, she's still gonna have to deal with her children. And she's still gonna, it ain't like there's gonna be a shut up on demand, or you still have to deal with your kids in real life.
Exactly.
It makes it, the extra help does make it a little bit easier. But a husband actually would, add discipline and structure, and peace, because you think, the girl 39, she's gonna be 40. You can't be at peace trying to figure out how am I gonna, solidify the next 10, 15 years in my life. Oh, have a kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like that can't be peaceful.
Done. Yeah.
It can't be like, oh my God, I gotta find one. Let me pick one. Anyone, let me just, eyes closed. Like that's what it felt like she did.
She will have to use her oldest son and hope that her oldest son makes a lot of money. And then son husband, she's good because you need the more kids you have, the better off, I guess, if that's the case, because one of them gonna make it, if not all. So I mean, that's how it goes. What's up, Marcus? Yes, like, share, and subscribe. But yes, we are here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. talking about all of this craziness that's going on in the media. So yes, thanks for stopping by, and we would definitely see you next week. All right. All right, y'all. Have a good night.